Kimberley is a spectacular region of untouched wilderness in the far north of Western Australia. A pristine land occupied by only a handful of people. Some of its most incredible features have only recently been discovered, and much of it is still completely unknown. This wild, magical land of rugged ranges, sweeping plains and glistening waters is one of the world's great wilderness areas. It contains some of the most amazing natural wonders in the world, as well as some staggering man-made wonders on a scale as huge as the landscape. Like the diamonds beneath its surface, the Kimberley is a jewel in Western Australia's crown. Back Productions presents Kimberley Magic, where the adventure never ends. Explore Western Australia's wild side on video. Available now. While most of the world gets smaller every day, some places are still as big and untamed as ever. Australia's Northern Territory is a land so vast and varied, it's a world of its own. The Red Centre in the deep south is an ancient land of rugged beauty sprawling beneath clear blue skies. Its dramatic mountain ranges and vast red deserts are full of surprising and rewarding secrets. The top end in the tropical north is awash with seasonal rivers, lush tropical rainforests, and vast wetlands teeming with wildlife. Cross the border to the wild side. Come visit the territory in a 76-minute journey through the exhilarating heart of this fascinating wilderness and meet the human face of one of the most sparsely populated regions in the world. The territory is one of the world's great wilderness areas. Now you can discover it for yourself. Back Productions present Australia's Northern Territory. Discover another world on video. Available now. Deep in the heart of northwestern Australia is a place so full of natural minerals, the land lies red for as far as the eye can see. This is the region called the Pilbara. Spanning an incredible area of over 520,000 square kilometres, the Pilbara supplies a large percentage of the world's iron ore needs. This ancient land is 2,000 million years old and includes some of the oldest rock formations known to man. Small wonder then that the Pilbara is a natural gallery of fascinating contrasts. From gentle greenery clinging to red earth, to majestic gorges hundreds of metres deep, where humans are dwarfed by natural walls of layered red rock, to tranquil, timeless pools and giant termite hills. Water is the elixir of life. It sustains the many creatures that make their home in the Pilbara, including the small ring-tailed dragon and birds in a myriad of shapes and colours. The native sturt pea throws a splash of colour, while mulla mullas blanket the earth and a bungara surveys his domain. Majestic Mount Whaleback is the largest open-cut iron ore mine in the world. Here, some of the world's largest machinery works 24 hours a day. In the Pilbara, transport's on a grand scale too. Trains carrying the iron ore to container ships at the coastal port measure up to 2 or 3 kilometres. Some of the largest container ships sailing the world's oceans load at the Pilbara's port headland. By the Northwest Cape, the land is greener, with Cape Range National Park on one side and the township of Exmouth on the other. Bordering on the edge of the Pilbara, Exmouth was established in 1967 to supply the joint Australian-US Naval Communications Station nearby. Excellent year-round fishing and perfect beach weather has made it a popular tourist destination spot ever since. Fishing here is of a world-class standard, mainly because of the proximity to the continental shelf. The varieties of fish are enormous, as are their numbers. Many international fishing records have been set in these waters. For game fishermen, the GameX Premier Fishing Competition is held between October and November, the Ultralight Tackle Competition in August, and the Capricorn Challenge in January. No matter how you like to fish, as here with a hand line way out at sea, you'll always enjoy a healthy catch. Local skippers know their fishing grounds well. Species include sweetlip, spangled emperor, and several types of trevally. For underwater sightseeing, experienced and fully trained skin diving guides take divers on an unforgettable journey beneath the sea. Equipment is tested and all is checked before taking the plunge. Amongst the spectacular natural underwater scenery, several historic shipwrecks can also be found in the park. These waters were often the watery graves of sailing ships last century from the Dutch East India Company, blown off course by strong winds in the tropics. For inexperienced divers, snorkeling is an easy way to enjoy a close-up view of one of the world's great beauties, the Ningaloo Reef. Plate coral and staghorn corals provide a never-ending vista. In all, there are 220 species of coral, all feeding on the tiny plankton produced by the warm ocean currents. Over 500 species of fish also make their home on the Ningaloo Reef. Big, small, striped and plain, some of the most beautiful of nature's creatures swim within arm's length of snorkelers, including the world's largest fish, the whale shark, weighing in at up to 40,000 kilograms and growing to an enormous 18 meters long. These gentle monsters of the deep drift slowly on ocean currents, filtering the warm waters for the plankton within. This is their endless seafood smorgasbord. Dolphins, humpback whales, and the dugong are also often seen in these reef lagoons, sporting and feeding on their way to and from breeding grounds further up north. During summer months, green and loggerhead turtles make their way up local beaches to lay their eggs. For those who don't like to get their feet wet, a semi-submersible explorer craft takes visitors on an unforgettable cruise along the reef. Beneath the waterline, visitors are invited to view the extraordinary SeaWorld through glass windows. Schools of fish swim about the reef, ignoring their nosy visitors. Along the coast, there are clean, cool beaches with a character all their own. Surfers roll into Surfers Beach. Turquoise Bay is one of the highlights of the area, with clear blue waters ideal for snorkeling. Nearby Oyster Bay encourages exploration on land and sea. And gentle Pebble Beach has a kaleidoscope of coloured pebbles to entertain the beachcomber. Ningaloo Marine Park was declared in 1987 to protect the reef and its environs. The park stretches up the Western Australian coast from Bundeji in Exmouth, around Northwest Cape to Amherst Point, south of Coral Bay. It covers 260 kilometres in all and extends about 10 nautical miles out to sea. Scenic flights are available with seemingly endless views of the coastline and rugged ranges. Cape Range National Park stretches north and south along the peninsula. Located in the heart of the Cape Range Peninsula is the Milliering Visitors Centre. In the centre, every device is solar powered. This modern facility offers an informative and entertaining interpretation of Exmouth's many attractions through static displays, three-dimensional models, and interactive audio visuals. One of the main scenic attractions in the Cape Range National Park is the sheer beauty of Yardie Creek Gorge. With breathtaking views and a sight of rock wallabies who make their home in this area, a trip to this easily accessible location is a definite must for every visitor to the Cape Range National Park. By boat, the incredible grandeur of the gorge can be fully appreciated. As the daylight changes, the rock face takes on a different hue. The boat's gentle pace doesn't disturb the locals in their graceful activities. Shothole Canyon was named after the holes left by explosive charges used to set up mini earthquakes for seismographic studies during the long search for oil in the 1950s. "23 kilometres south of Exmouth is the jagged cleft of Charles Knife Canyon. Strategically placed picnic spots off the road skirting through this rugged area provide some unforgettable views. In all this rugged terrain, Mother Nature shows off her subtle palette. From Vlamming's Head, visitors enjoy spectacular 360-degree views. A local species of spinifex mixes with eucalypts to add sparse vegetation to this harsh environment. From this popular vantage point, brilliant sunsets take your breath away. The sea turns to fire as the sun is slowly extinguished on the horizon. Smooth sealed bitumen roads connect all major points in the Pilbara, a comfortable legacy from the huge iron ore mining operations. A windmill flags you down to stop a while and enjoy the surrounding countryside, where time has shaped tabletop mountains, where ocean waters once washed the sands. Local flora and fauna are extremely diverse, and if you're lucky, you'll see a big bungara lizard. The sturt pea is a plant that has shaped itself well to fit its surroundings. In the countryside throughout the Pilbara, you'll find giant clay sculptures which stand taller than their visitors. Industrious ants build these weatherproof homes without architects' plans or builders. Back in 1883, the town of Onslow was proclaimed on a more southerly point than where the town stands today. Once a port for the pearling, pastoral and mining industries, Onslow is now known for its superb fishing. In the waters surrounding the town, bream, whiting, catfish, mullet, reef fish, flathead, pike, kingfish, gold skipjack and Norwest salmon can be found. The charter boat is available for fishing excursions to Mackerel Islands off the coast. Through the heart of the Pilbara winds the Fortescue River. Lush vegetation grows on the banks and areas where the river collects in pools. Camping is available in this area as a great home base for exploring the region. The Millstream Chichester National Park protects almost 200,000 hectares of basalt ranges and clay tablelands. There are 3 kinds of palms at Millstream: a native variety, cotton and date palms. The native palms are a relic of a tropical rainforest which became extinct millions of years ago. In the 1870s, Afghan camel drivers planted date palms around the Chindawarrina pool, and the palms have now taken over the vegetation of the area. Colonies of fruit bats inhabit the palms. Dragonflies and Millstream damselflies are numerous in the area. Exquisite water lily covered pools are continually replenished by natural springs beneath. The water feeds the lilies and the broad leaves help sustain the water levels. Back in time, Chindawarrina Pool was a campsite for the Yinjabandi people. They came to Millstream for important rituals and harvested a special species of wattle here for making spears. They fished the waterholes and dug for edible roots. Out of the Millstream area lies the Chichester Ranges, a rolling, vast, ancient landscape some 2 billion years old, with hidden gorges and sudden majestic hills. Mount Herbert stands out from the surrounding area. From this mountain you can enjoy panoramic views of the coastal plains with its spiky spinifex, white-barked snappy gums, with pale coolabars and cajuputs, the native paperbarks. Nowhere else on Earth can visitors enjoy such awesome, ageless views. This is an unforgiving landscape, where humankind is a recent interloper. Slow but steady erosion over thousands of years has carved the tall red walls of Python Pool out of the savage landscape. This is a safe swimming spot and a relaxing picnic area. In the region's scale of time, Karratha was built only yesterday in 1971. The town was established as a regional centre for the booming mining industry, and the name chosen, Karratha, is an Aboriginal word meaning good country. Ancient Aboriginal art forms remain chiselled into the rocks in the area to this day. The plains around Karratha are a carpet of purple when the mulla mulla wildflowers bloom in season. The massive Northwest Shelf Natural Gas Project is the largest in a long line of resource projects begun by this state. The gas is actually exported overseas and contributes well to the state's export earnings. Dampier sits in the Dampier Archipelago, named after William Dampier, an English buccaneer who visited the area back in 1688. Located overlooking Hampton Harbour, the town was built in the 1960s by the Hammersley Iron Company. Tugs wait to help the giant carrier ships in and out of port. These iron ore trains are massive. With more than 240 separate cars, they travel from mines at Tom Price and Paraburdoo. The ore is stockpiled and loaded onto ships for export. The Dampier Salt Company also use facilities at the harbour for exporting salt harvested from nearby pans. Tours of these facilities can be arranged. Samson was the major port in the area before the mining companies made their own facilities. It is now a popular beach resort for the area. Although port facilities are closed, prawn trawlers still work the waters off the point. 7 different species of mangrove grow in the Pilbara, providing spawning and feeding grounds for prawns in the area. The mangroves are within easy walking distance of the small town of Cossack. Cossack was the first port in the northwest and was the centre of the pearling industry for some time. But the harbour silted over, the pearling industry moved on, and the population left, leaving the town to battle the ravages of the harsh northwest climate. Stone was the preferred building material against cyclones. Many of the remaining buildings have remained unscathed. The courthouse, built in 1887, is open for inspection most days. It is a fine example of the dedicated restoration work which has been carried out to restore these buildings to their former glory. Built in 1897, the old customs house and bond store have been beautifully renovated and restored. Another well-preserved example of early stone building techniques is the old Roebourne Jail. Roebourne is the oldest town between Geraldton and Darwin. Although regarded as the Cinderella town of the northwest, the mining boom has kept Roebourne well and truly on the map. It is surrounded by rugged countryside, full of wildlife. Although the terrain seems harsh and inhospitable, it is still an important pastoral centre. Sheep have thrived here since the first Europeans arrived in the 1860s. During the latter half of the 19th century, Roebourne has developed as the capital of the northwest. Declared a town in 1866, it was named after John Septimus Roe, the state's first Surveyor General. The enormous harbour facility of Port Hedland began as one sheep station in 1864. When pearls were found in the 1870s, Port Hedland became home to 150 pearl luggers, their crews and families. In the 1950s, mineral exploration picked up. Tin, copper, manganese and gold all spurred the town's growth. But it was the massive iron ore body discovered in the 1960s that rocketed Port Hedland to its position as the most important harbour in the northwest. Just 20 years ago, the harbour was a small community of 1,200 people. The port could handle about 100,000 tonnes annually. Now, after a massive development program, the harbour can handle the largest ships in the world. It can now handle more than 40 million tonnes of cargo each year, making it one of the biggest harbours in Australia. Iron ore isn't the only natural resource that is rich in this area. From Port Hedland, shiploads of salt are also exported around the world. Gigantic mountains of salt from the Cargill Salt Company are ready for loading and shipment to distant ports. They stand as conical-shaped landmarks alongside the Northwest Coastal Highway. Bird flowers, floral emblem of the local town council, bloom in the sun. Tidal beaches lend a touch of cool relief on a hot summer's day. The beach at Port Hedland is an ideal spot to enjoy water sports, including skiing, swimming, fishing, snorkeling and boating. It's an ideal place for families to meet and relax together after the activities of the day. Since its massive redevelopment program, Port Hedland can now play host to the world's biggest carrier vessels. Overseeing all this rich activity, the Port Authority Control Tower rises 27 metres above the busy wharf. Port Hedland is now a 24-hour-a-day operation, 7 days a week, loading the iron ore into ships bound for the four corners of the world. The port is serviced by a steady stream of gigantic snake-like trains, measuring anything up to 2 or 3 kilometres long. These trains stand by the mine sites as their bins are filled by giant machinery. On many of these journeys, there are over 200 cars filled to capacity with mineral-rich red earth. The trains wind their way over the inhospitable terrain to feed the fleet of carriers waiting at port. BHP Iron Ore and the Hammersley Iron Company work these transport facilities together. These modern workhorses snake through the massive ranges and ancient gorges from the mining sites at Mount Whaleback in Newman, Tom Price and Paraburdoo, their powerful engines pulling a massive load. Mount Whaleback site is the biggest iron ore open-cut mine in the world. Huge trucks and loaders scour red freeways into the mountainsides as they dig. The gigantic red mine site becomes home to some of the world's biggest mining machinery as it works to dig out the natural riches for export around the globe. The earth is peppered with small explosions before the massive blast reshapes the mountain. Each blast looses the iron ore to be picked up by the giant scoops. Some of the world's biggest tyres are made for the mining companies which work these mines. Giant tyres 3 metres in height. Their buckets and scoops could easily pick up a family wagon and still have room. The haul packs, as the carrier trucks are called, are sophisticated giants, devouring the landscape with awesome ease, a far cry from the simple pick and shovel of the first prospectors in this area. The traffic logistics are also massive. With giant machinery like this around, safety is always first and foremost in the minds of workers and management. Constant safety training courses are run to ensure the level of safety awareness is always high at the site. Tours of Mount Whaleback are available from the local tourist office. To service the mining boom came the mining towns, new air-conditioned oases in an unwelcoming landscape. Here we see the town of Newman from Radio Hill Lookout. A walk on top of nearby Mount Newman affords visitors panoramic views of some of the most beautiful scenery in the world. This is the Pilbara, the starkness, the beauty of nature in the raw, where only the occasional white gum stands out in contrast to its red dirt home, and small green vegetation struggles to take a hold in the hot, harsh environment. Willy Wally Pool is just one of a number of waterholes in the Newman Waterhole Circuit. An itinerary is available from the Tourist Centre. It includes directions to all the local waterholes and Aboriginal art sites. Where there's water, there's insects and bird life. Rock Falls is a remarkable area ideal for picnicking, camping or bushwalking as a stopover on the road to anywhere. Melbourne's Pool provides another cool spot to linger a moment in this landscape of contrasts. On the road to Nullagine, 2 hours from Newman, wildflowers are sprinkled along the way. Nullagine is a nugget of a town itself, a mining town off the beaten path, with its own character and its own characters. One of the most famous pubs in the area is the Ironclad Hotel. Around Nullagine, the earth gives up its treasures. Gold nuggets sometimes found lying innocently on the ground. This one must be worth a pretty penny. Around the area, hard-working machinery is still in use today, mining the rich Nullagine earth. Not all the beauty of the area is below the ground. Here, just out of town, is the green oasis of Garden Pool. Its garden-like foliage and pleasant cool aspect makes it a perfect picnic spot. Marble Bar is widely known as the hottest town in Australia. It holds a record of 160 consecutive days over the old century mark in Fahrenheit, set in 1923-24. These government buildings were constructed of local stone in 1895. It's remarkable that a century later they are still in use as government offices. Comet Mine is a working mine with plenty of activity always happening and a warm welcome for visitors. At Comet Mine, a tourist centre and gallery display some of the amazing rocks and jewellery from the surrounding area. It's an ideal opportunity to buy a souvenir from this area, perhaps an imaginative, well-crafted art piece from a local artist. The souvenir shop features Pilbara jade, a beautiful stone exclusive to this region. Six kilometres west of the town is Marble Bar Pool. This area is an A-class reserve, so no souvenirs can be sampled, particularly from the unique Jasper Bar. Another ideal picnic spot is Chinaman's Pool, a cool, clear, shady haven for hot travellers. The main street of Paraburdoo stands wide and proud in the midday sun. The Aboriginals called the area Pirupadu, which literally means meat feathers, an allusion to the white cockatoos which now inhabit the town's byways and parks. Paraburdoo also has its Radio Hill lookout, perched atop Mount Paraburdoo, a clear position to receive radio waves, and also an uninterrupted view of the remarkable countryside. The majestic site of Hamersley Iron Company's Paraburdoo mine rises like a giant colossus out of the landscape. Even a massive iron ore carrying train is dwarfed in the foreground, like a red snake dozing in the sun. Mining tours are available through prior arrangement with the Hamersley Iron Company. Access to the Pilbara region is easy by air or road. On the 1 hour 79 kilometre drive to Tom Price, the sister mining town to Paraburdoo, the majestic Hamersley Ranges, run parallel to the road. At spring and various times of the year, wildflowers and small blossoms greet the visitor with a colourful display. Mount Nameless is the state's highest mountain, which is accessible by four-wheel drive. Take a moment to stop at the local tourist bureau for full information, maps and advice. From the top of Mount Nameless, the view will leave you speechless. Rugged, yet splendid in its power, the Pilbara rises and falls like a majestic sea. The scale of man's involvement is put in perspective when seen against the landscape. The sun sets on another Pilbara day, and the sky turns as red as the earth in flickering fires of the day's sun. At Tom Price Township, landscape streets and lush gardens are enjoyed by all the inhabitants, including the birds. Constant reticulation keeps the town looking beautiful. No matter how hard man tries, nature creates a more incredible sight, like the majesty of the Hamersley Ranges and the Karijini National Park. Spinifex grasses are well suited to these conditions all year round. It's not an unusual sight to see Australia's best-loved animal, the kangaroo, bounding by. Karijini National Park is the second largest in the state and is renowned for its spectacular mountains, gorges, watercourses and plateau. Yalpire Gorge is 18 kilometres west of the Great Northern Highway. With its green vegetation against a red terrace background, it looks for all the world like a carefully landscaped garden. Nature has carefully placed these red rock stratas layer upon layer. There is delicacy and strength in the beautiful blossoms of this area, from hardy wattles to native wildflowers. Here you can drive through Yalpire Gorge in a car, wagon, four-wheel drive, or enjoy one of the many tours available. Even the ads build things big up here in the Pilbara. A 1.6 kilometre trail at Dales Gorge winds from Fortescue Falls to Circular Pool. A lazy stream, clear water pools, waterfalls, delicate ferns and exotic tropical vegetation are to be seen along the route. The gorge offers a camping area, lookout and a range of walk trails. Cool off from hiking in the icy waters of Fortescue Falls. Classic rugged rock formations jut out into the sky, while further along, vibrant green ferns contrast starkly with the sunburnt red of the steep walls. This is a brilliant spot to swim in cool, clear waters as the water wends its way down to Circular Pool. Kalamina Gorge is easily accessible from the steps at the car park, with Kalamina Falls supplying the cool waterbeds of the gorge. Here, a visitor can enjoy swimming, paddling or just exploring. The dramatic scenery has a primal quality that is unforgettable, with many fish darting in the still pool waters. The wildlife of the area includes the ring-tailed dragon gecko and a wide variety of bird life, enjoying the waters and trees of the gorges. After rainfall, water cascades down stratas of timeless rock at Joffrey Falls. Incredible views of Joffrey Gorge are easily accessible from the top, and the pools and streams are teeming with microscopic life. At Hancock Gorge, climb down with care to a marked pathway through dramatic scenery. A chat to the local rangers is always a good idea before setting out on this adventure. Here you pass between walls of highly polished rocks as you climb down slowly to colourful Kermit's Pool. Gorge has its own defiant structure. Dramatic 100-metre high walls gradually closing down to a base of just a metre wide. A gentle stream and a series of pools provide clear waterways. Because the sun rarely shines directly onto the base of this gorge, the waters are truly icy cold. Climbing through the gorge is a unique experience with great photo opportunities. The gorge walls change colour from area to area as you traverse this trail. Vibrant reds give way to gentle ginger browns, all the way through to a silvery grey that has been washed over and over by past streams. At this point, the visitor can see where four gorges meet at Oxer's Lookout. Weeno, Red, Hancock and Joffrey gorges are all on view from this unique vantage point. Hammersley Gorge offers colourful folded ribbons of rock and tranquil pools. Each gorge seems to have its own attractions. At Hammersley Gorge, the sheer beauty of the distinctly decorated walls stops many a visitor in their tracks. The swirling designs and variations in vibrant colours are unexplained. Further up the gorge gives access to the grotto, a sheer narrow chasm where ferns and other small vegetation line the walls. The pool waters change colour as they reflect their surrounding walls. Hammersley Gorge is renowned for its changing colours in afternoon and early evening light. Spa Bath Pool provides a refreshing waterfall and a bottomless bath. There are many more spectacular scenes to be enjoyed: mountains, gorges and waterholes within the national park. The Pilbara is a land of contrasts, where the world's biggest carrier ships carry ore from the largest open-cut iron ore mine in the world. Where you can walk and swim in nature's playgrounds, with delicate ferns and gentle pools in gigantic gorges. Where the fauna and flora is naturally remarkable. Where Red Earth smiles back at the sun in a landscape as old as time. Where? The Pilbara. A naturally remarkable place to visit in the northwest of Western Australia. Don't wait to hear about it. Come and discover it for yourself.